G'day guys, how you doing? It's the Kiwi back with another video, and it's been a little while. There's definitely no doubt about that. I've been giving some stuff a lot of thought over the last couple of months. There's been quite a bit of stuff going on in my world, and I had a particular event that happened on October the 29th. And I've been processing that. I'll explain that to you sometime, maybe in this video later on or in another video coming up. But anyway, I wanted to talk about just the level of deception and the level of lies that we've, just the sheer manipulation that's been going on in our world has just been absolutely off the charts. And since January 2021, I've been having certain events happen to me. And the last one, like I said, was October the 29th. And it's made me come to realize that I just need to share everything that I know. I'm just going to put it out there. Whether people want to hear it, believe me, I don't care. But I will explain to you, like I said, either later in this video or in a future video, just what's been going on. But the level of deception, oh my God, it's absolutely off the charts. There's not one thing that you can run by me today where I wouldn't be able to tell you, no, that's a lie, that's bullshit, that's false, that's incorrect, etc. The level of malevolent manipulation that has been played upon Western society and also pretty much Asian society also, to be quite honest with you, is absolutely off the charts today. And it's actually sickening, to be quite honest with you, the level that this stuff has gotten to. And it's part of the reason why I've been checking out of social media. Like, I've checked out of the only thing I have now is just YouTube. And that's it. And even the stuff that I watch on YouTube, I'm very, very selective about that, to be quite honest with you. I don't get involved in any of the alternative media BS in any way, shape, or form, because it's all a lie. Everything about your mainstream media, 99% of your alternative media, it's all an absolute lie. All of it. Unequivocal, absolute lie. The banking system is a lie. Taxation is a lie. The political system is an absolute lie. Everything about how we live, how we exist on a day-to-day basis is an actual lie. We're so far off the frickin' reservation as far as how we should be living and how we should be existing. It is unbelievable. And even I'm guilty of it. You know, I'm actually at a point where I'm trying to figure out just what I can do to even... I live an incredibly minimalistic life. And I'm even thinking, like, how can I even pull back more than what I am right now? Because unless you're literally living a life that is completely and utterly cut off from all of this BS on your own little plot of land with a group of people where you're coexisting together and helping each other and everything like that, like we used to do just only a few hundred years ago, then we're living a lie. Because how we are living today is not in alignment with the actual God's divine laws of this realm. That's it, period. And I will prove this in other videos. But I'm going to give you just a couple of examples of the basic examples of the level of manipulation and lies that we have been experiencing just in recent times. Like the wars. All the wars have been a complete and utter lie. So what I'm going to... like World War II. Everything about World War II was a complete and utter fabricated lie. Everything about it. All of it. And it was completely and utterly fabricated by these guys in bed with these guys right here. These individuals right here. And even these guys, these two groups of people, because they're one of the same, everything about these guys is an absolute lie. And I will talk about that in future videos, because what these a-holes take credit for today was not done by then in any way, shape, or form. Period. End of story. And these guys, in bed with these guys, because they all control the media and the printing presses and everything else, they've been a huge part of this lie. That'll give you a good example of just how they've manipulated you into believing things. World War II, okay? We were all told that there was a certain lunatic of a dude that was wanting to genocide a whole group of other individuals, okay? Primarily these individuals. Now, what's very, very interesting is these individuals also made up the majority, the moral majority of the Bolsheviks in Russia. Now, good old-fashioned Americans, Canadians, Brits, Aussies, Kiwis, they all went off to war and fought, you know, the people, the evil Axis, the evil National Socialists, okay? Because they were genociding these people right here, apparently. Now, what's very, very interesting is that leading up to World War II, these individuals took on a different name called the Bolsheviks. And the Bolsheviks were all an invention of these guys right here in bed with these guys, because these two groups of people are one of the same. Lenin himself was one of these guys, as were Trotsky and a few others. But anyway, once those dudes got their hands on Russia, what was the one group of people that they went after more than any other group of people? Christians. They murdered and slaughtered millions of Christians, the Bolsheviks did. Now, what's really very interesting about this is that they also moved on down into the Ukraine. There was an event called the Holodomor genocide, where millions of Christians were yet again murdered and slaughtered. There's so many of them murdered and slaughtered leading up to World War II that there's only estimations in regards to the numbers. It's tens of millions at the very minimum. Between 30 to 40 million Christians were slaughtered at the hands of these guys in bed with these guys under the name of the Bolsheviks. Now, what's interesting is during World War II, good old-fashioned Christian Americans, Canadians, and other countries went off to war and fought on behalf of these guys because Christians believed that these individuals were being genocided. But hang on a second. Weren't those individuals that were in Germany that the Christians went to fight also Christians? Yeah. The Germans were Christians by majority also. So the Christians went to war against themselves. Now, when you really, really, really start digging into the back story on these guys, and these guys right here, because these guys are a complete and utter fabricated lie, you'll start to learn that there was one group of, or two groups of people that really kept these guys in check thousands of years ago. That group of guys or individuals were the Khazarians. The Khazarians were the result of two ancient tribes by the name of Gog and Magog that came together. Kind of a bunch of twisted lunatics. They caused a lot of problems in Eastern Europe, from the Ukraine down into the Kazakhstan region of the world. Kind of ironic that Khazarian, Kazakhstan's, that sort of stuff is kind of all the same. But anyway, what happened was there's two groups of people that kept the Kazakhs under control, the Khazarians, under the thumb. Those two groups of people were the Christians and the Muslims. The Christians were in the north, the Muslims were in the south, the Khazarians were right in the middle. And the one group of people that really wreaked havoc on the Khazarians were the Christians. And if you think I'm full of shit, research just what the British did in the late 1100s, early 1200s to this group of people, the British Christians. Because the Christians back then, they knew who the Khazarians were. Not today, but back then they did. Now this is where another lie comes in, and it's a huge one. And it's in regards to the settling of the United States of America. If you research what happened during the late 1100s, early 1200s in England, a lot of the Ashkenazi, because they went from being Gog and Magog to the Khazarians, and then as they filtered out into Europe, they became the Ashkenazi, and so on and so forth. They've always changed their names. Kind of interesting because they do the same thing. You know, look at the amount of these individuals that are Hollywood actors, right? Look at how they change their names. Like even the British royal family. You know, they're German. Saxe-Coburger was their original name. Yeah, kind of interesting, isn't it? Another lie. But the reality of the situation is that this Khazarian group of individuals are now literally ruling the world. And they are rolling out their malevolent beliefs against the world, against Western society. And the reason why they're doing that against Americans is because you're Christians and they hate you. These people are atheists by majority. And they're basically, for want of a better term, the wolf is in the hen house. And you're seeing this lie. You're seeing the malevolence behind these people. They're in your government. And the traitors, the treasonous traitors that absolutely support these individuals that are in the US Congress, the US government, in every aspect of our lives. Because of these individuals here, and here's another trick that these individuals have pulled on Christian Americans. There's members of this organization here, globally, who at the lowest degrees are Christians. This organization has its own Christian Bible. Right? It does. Straight up. Can't lie about that. But here's the thing. At the upper echelon of these individuals, right here at the highest degrees, they are these guys. They are by majority of the descent of those old tribes of Gog and Magog. Now what's really interesting is these guys today take credit for the original work that was done by the original Freemasons while we were under the rule and leadership of a completely and utterly different group of people, species of people that came from a completely different area, because we were created. The truth behind the Freemasons was the individuals that created us. They had created a number of different kinds of people. They created 4 kinds. The kinds that they created were the blacks, the whites, the Asians, and the last was the American Indian, the Native American. Those were the 4 kinds that were created. Now, amongst those kinds were a group of individuals that could travel freely throughout the world and construct these magnificent stone, marble, granite structures that we still see in our world today. Those individuals were called the Freemasons. Not these guys. Not these guys in any way, shape, or form. So these guys right here, in bed with these guys right here, because these guys are these guys. These guys literally assert all the teachings and everything of the original Masons. That's what I mean. That's how deep. This is when I tell you we've been lied about our timeline. Our timeline, as far as when the Great Flood has happened to now, is 50,000 years. 50,000 years. The people that created us were here for 200,000 years. Our biological history is about 250,000 years. But all that stuff is being suppressed. Science actually has this information, but the level of censorship that is out there today is unbelievable. So, let me explain to you some stuff. When I said that I've been going through some interesting situations, since January of 2021, because of the BS and everything that I've been going through in my life, my heart condition started playing up again. The heart condition was called Brugada syndrome. So I die. I literally die at night. Now, how I was able to prove this to myself, there's a certain feeling that I have when I come back to. Okay? When I wake up in the morning, when I wake up. That feeling, I'm not going to explain to you what that feeling is, because I don't want some new age spiritual a-hole taking the information that I'm going to tell you right now and using it in his dog and pony show. But a few days after that event, I went to my Fitbit. At that time I was wearing a Fitbit on a regular basis. And sure shit, I'd flatlined. I'd flatlined for 18 minutes through the night. No heartbeat, no oxygen rate, no nothing. Gone. Out. Then about 18 months later it happened again. And I went to my Fitbit. There it was, flatlined, out for 22 minutes. Now, the interesting thing is that it's happened again 2 times this year. August it happened, and then the last one was October the 29th. I went out, crossed over, experienced the other side. The last 2 times I've talked to a specific individual, and it's God who takes on the image of an old man for me to talk to so he can talk to me. And this last time, October the 29th, I'm sitting down beside God and I'm having a chat with him. And he says to me, Lawrence, you've done more than enough. If you so choose to, you're welcome to stay this time. Now, the feeling that went through my entire being, because my soul is one energetic being at that point. So I felt the thought that I had from the tip of my head to the bottom of my toes. And that feeling was tying up loose ends. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm tying up loose ends. One of those loose ends is just going scorched earth with everything that I know. Because the one thing that has been happening to me when I come back from these experiences, when I pass away in my sleep, cross over to the other side and come back, all the dots are connecting. All of the dots are connecting. And if I'm going to leave anything behind for humanity, it's going to be the truth of who and what we are. And I can 100% tell you that everything that is in the Sumerian texts, every single thing, is fact. And I mean that across the board. It is all absolute fact. And these individuals right here, these clowns right here, in bed with these guys, they are playing you like nothing else on earth. And I mean that. And especially Americans, if they don't start pulling their heads out of their asses real soon, you're going to lose this game. That's all there is to it. So, like I said, I am just going to keep on sharing the truth. And I'm just going to put it out there into the universe and let it do its job. Because now's the time. So, until the next video, guys, Make it great. And don't get tied up in the lies and the deception. Alrighty? And I mean it. Start taking a step back. Genuinely. So until the next video, make it great. God bless. Cheers.